Yo, I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you can hear me. We are back in perfect action. We had some technical difficulties over the past couple of days. Plus, I was at a conference, so I hope that you guys can hear me. We got an amazing guest today. Those three episodes they will be available this week. So this week there's actually going to be 8 episodes this week. Going to be just adding, a couple of bonus episodes throughout the week, so you guys could really take advantage of all the value. Take advantage of all of the value. So let me see. Yeah, we good to go. Oh, look who it is. Right on time.
Hello.
What up?
What's poppin'?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. So I was just telling the people real quick that we had a couple technical difficulties over the past couple days. My laptop wasn't working. This is my backup laptop. I got to get a new one. Um, so they're just gonna get more value they're gonna get more value this week. And as you guys know, the Imperfect Action Show, what we do, we connect 6, 7, 8 figure earners, and have them teach you a lesson, a strategy, a principle, whether in business or marketing. Just bring you a bunch of value so you can actually take that and implement it in your real life in real time and get a result.
Right.
And I got a somebody special on today. Somebody special. We've been looking to lock in a few times. Then we ran into each other in person a few times. So
Listen, I didn't expect to see you at, well, I don't want to say I didn't expect to see you at all in Vegas, but when I
yeah,
saw you, I was just like, okay, this makes a lot of sense.
yeah. You know what? I had one of those moments too. I was just like, man, I'm really here, right? And then I saw you, and I was like, I don't know if you remember, but I gave you this look. I was just like, what's up, Chrissy? So, Nurse Chrissy, what's up? Welcome to Imperfect Action.
Thank you for having me.
So, what I like to do is I'm gonna send a quick text out to the community, let them know that we're live and rocking. There will be, yo, John, what's up, bro? So on the right side, you'll probably see on. I think you're on your phone, so you'll start to see
Yeah, because
people
I didn't
rocking
have
in.
I didn't have
Yeah.
Google Chrome, I didn't have Opera. I'm like, okay, what
Oh
we gonna do this on
man,
our phone? That's why you said you had technical difficulties. I'm like,
yeah, you have some
it's
too.
today,
All right, so
but it's all
why don't you
good.
let the people know a little bit about who Nurse Chrissy is and where you currently are, which
Okay,
is important, right? So while
okay.
you're doing that, I'm gonna send a link. I'll send a link out to our community, let them know we are on and popping.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone who's already here. My name is Christina, but everyone refers to me as Nurse Chrissy. I am originally from Miami, Florida. Anyone who's from Miami or Miami, Florida. And currently, I am in Las Vegas. I just went to a convention called Recession Proof, and that's where I just recently saw Brandon. So that's pretty much just a little bit about me.
So for people that don't know, what is travel nursing like? What's the difference from being in one place, being a stationary nurse, I guess, and then having the ability to move around and still provide services to your clients? What is the distinction? How's a nurse able to do that? How did you get to where you are?
Got you. So I am a person, I love to travel. So far, I've traveled to 29 countries. Last night, I was talking to my partner, asking him, hey, before June 9th, that's another event. I don't know if you're going to be there. Black Equity Con was like, can we travel to another country? So that's just pretty much how my life works. And I've always known that I want to be flexible. I want to be free. So a staff nurse is someone who just works in one hospital and that's it. But a travel nurse can work in many different hospitals. And it's not necessarily all at the same time, but you'll just sign a contract. So for an example, my contracts used to be 3 months, but now I only sign contracts that are like 4 weeks or 8 weeks. So, you just finish your contract and you can either take off or you can just continuously keep doing contracts. But travel nursing is essentially, you're not necessarily working for one hospital. You have the flexibility to work wherever you want in the world. You just have to sign a contract.
So how did you first find out about this? When you first found about this, like, did your mind just blow? You was like, wait, I can nurse and I can just travel to different places. Like how did this first come about?
Yo, honestly, I have been running away from nursing for years. So I went to the University of Florida, and the way their nursing program is set up is you have to do 2 years And then your last 2 years, it's their nursing program. I didn't realize I wanted to be a nurse until my junior year. So I literally was about to graduate. So I ended up doing an accelerated program, which is you graduate with your degree, you do your 4 years, you graduate with your degree, and then you go for an additional year and a half or however long that accelerated program is. And that's pretty much what I did with nursing. So I have 2 degrees. My first degree is in health science with like a public health background, so still science. And then I have my nursing degree. So when I was in undergrad and I realized I wanted to be a nurse, I was just like, man, I done missed my opportunity to go ahead and do it within my first 4 years. How can I still make this work for me? And I was looking up, different professions within nursing and different specialties, and I came across travel nursing, and it was
Just
just like, oh,
just a random like, oh, what's this one right here?
yo, I was just like, wait, so you can travel around the world, you can work wherever you want to work, and you can make like 4,000, $5,000 a week. It was a no-brainer for me. So a lot of people they hopped into travel nursing during the pandemic because it was very prevalent. COVID cases were rampant and they needed a lot of nurses. So a lot of people, they just realized about travel nursing in 2020, but I had been preparing to be a travel nurse for like 5 years. So
Mm.
when it was my time, I just, took off and I always, make sure I kept my strategy in plan. So a lot of people, who hopped on during the pandemic, they kind of are fizzling out. They're like, oh, rates are dropping. What do I do? Like, how do I still sustain XYZ? And I'm just chilling like, okay, I already know how to stick and move. I already know how to pivot and move. So that was that aha moment for me when I was, when I was in undergrad and I realized, man, I missed my opportunity to go ahead and do nursing now, but it still ended up being a blessing in disguise because it prepared me for 6 years later and I had no idea.
So we got a couple questions coming in already.
Okay.
Jonathan asks, are there any jobs overseas where you can just stay overseas?
Absolutely. 100%, 1,000%. And there are certain companies that specialize in that. So I'm in a relationship right now. However, if I was not in a relationship, I more than likely would be living in Dubai or I would be living in Aruba. There's a lot of contracts there, in Germany. So those are like my top three international places that I would be living as a travel nurse, if I were to be doing it overseas.
We got another question coming in. This one is for Tosh. She asks, what's the fastest someone can actually become a travel nurse?
So fastest is relatively speaking, right? Because it's not necessarily about how quick you can do it. It's about how quick you can prepare yourself to do it. Because as a staff nurse, you're working in one hospital. So you're seeing the same people every day who are going to be helping you with your patients and things like that. When you're a travel nurse and you're working in an unfamiliar environment, you don't necessarily know if these nurses are going to help you. You don't know if there's an emergency, how quick are you going to be able to get to the resources that you actually need as far as like materials and things like that to save your patient? So I don't necessarily recommend that people look at it in a sense of like, okay, how much experience can I get and then can I jump right in it? It's just like, any given moment, any given situation, can you handle it? So me, I'm the type of person anybody can drop dead in front of me and I'm gonna know exactly what to do. I'm not gonna have to, call a million different people and try to figure it out and have people help me. I'm gonna know exactly what I need to do, but it's because I prepare for that. So I went directly into ICU care because I know that was critical care and I would definitely be able to, learn everything I needed to take care of patients. So technically, hypothetically speaking, you can have anywhere from 6 months to 1 year or 2 years of experience. And then you should be, a little bit prepared enough to become a travel nurse. But it all depends on you as a person. Someone else, they may lack confidence, or someone else, it may take them much longer to develop a stronger skill set. So I don't necessarily like to put a time on it, but I will say, when you feel confident, when you feel like you have the skill set to handle any situation, that's when you should be able to go into travel nursing.
So we got another question. This one is also from John. Is it hard to travel with children? So if you're a nurse and you have children, what do you think that landscape would look like?
So hard is very relative, right? I think that everything is about how you properly plan and are you strategic. So there are lots of nurses who are traveling with their children, especially because of the pandemic. Kids weren't in school, so some people, for an example, just to give you guys a ballpark range of how much money travel nurses can make. Travel nurses can make anywhere from $2,000 to $12,000 a week. And a huge chunk of the money that they make is tax free, simply because we have a housing tax free stipend and we have a meal tax free stipend. So a lot of that money that
Oh,
travel nurses,
y'all are cleaning up over here, man.
what's up? A
Y'all
lot
are
of
cleaning up right now.
yo, and it's
Travel nurses are getting the bag.
and I try to explain it, and I try to explain this to people, and a lot of
It's
people, they
like
don't really know
50K.
about
That's
the
50K a month.
50K. You could clear 50K a month easy. You could clear 40K a month easy. You just have to put yourself in the right position, and you just have to get the right experience. But a lot of nurses, they use the money that they were making from their assignments, and they would purchase RVs. So now they're traveling around the U.S. in their RVs with their
Oh, that's
children.
nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty dope.
so there's a lot of different ways you can make it happen, but you can definitely travel with your children for sure.
All right, this we got another question. You're very popular this morning. Where would you recommend someone go to obtain the schooling required to become a travel nurse?
Definitely go somewhere that is accredited. All nursing schools are not accredited. So you want to go somewhere that is accredited. And you also want to go somewhere that has a high NCLEX passing rate. So the NCLEX is the board exam that you have to take in order to be certified as a nurse. You want to go to a school that has a high passing rate, because there's a school, their passing rate is like 75, 80. That means that you're going to have a 75, potentially a 75 to 80% chance of passing. You want to go somewhere that has a 98%, a 99%. Like, the nurses who come in and out of here, they're going to pass that test. And everything isn't necessarily about passing on the first time. I don't know if you all are a lot of nurses, but you may hear a lot of nurses or nurse influencers say, I passed on the first time, I passed this, I passed that. But at the end of the day, what God has for you, He has for you. So it doesn't matter if you have to take it one time, two times, three times. As long as you pass, that's all that matters. So, in order to increase your chances of passing, I would definitely say, go to a school that's accredited and has a high pass rate for the NCLEX exam.
I actually got a friend of mine who built a digital business around helping people pass the NCLEX. He calls
What's
it
her name?
he calls it the Netflix of the Netflix of NCLEX, something
Big
like that.
business. You know what I mean? And that and that's big business. So I asked because I know another young lady. Her name is Sam,
Yeah.
and she blew up, and she's not even a registered nurse. She's a licensed practicing nurse. So there's levels to nursing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, she's still a nurse. But this LPN, which is technically like a lower level than a registered nurse, is helping all of these registered nurses pass their exams, and these nurses who have masters and doctorates pass their exams.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. She
that's
sees
big business.
she sees the board a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying?
OD.
Um. So look, okay. So you say you've been in about 29 countries. What are Give me a rundown of maybe like your top 4 or 5 countries that you've been to. Give me like maybe one or two that you're like, I'm never going back.
Oh, so I didn't really have the best experience in India. I was actually only in India for less than 24 hours, so that's not really fair for me to say, but I didn't have the best experience in India, and I was just like, India might be at the bottom of my list. But I'm very open to giving it another chance. I just think that during the pandemic, technically we're still in a pandemic, but um, it was just like really, really tight government officials and like restrictions in the airport. And, I have been traveling throughout this whole entire pandemic, and I hadn't experienced anything like that before. So that didn't necessarily make me feel good. And then when we were out of the airport, people were bombarding us, rushing us. It was just like, okay, we just need to find an Uber. People are telling us they can take us to our hotel. And I don't know, for you all who, don't necessarily travel out of the country a lot, but when it comes to being my skin color and also a woman, you just have to be really careful, because you never know if people are scammers, frauds, or, there's a lot of sex trafficking and human trafficking that happens around the world. So I'm very hypersensitive when I'm outside of my environment. So I didn't really like that experience I had in India, but again, I'm very open to, trying India again. But definitely top places I have been, I would say Maldives. That is my number one for sure. I absolutely enjoyed the Maldives. Turkey. Turkey was one of my favorite countries. Where else have I been? Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica maybe 7 or 8 times. So I
Oh,
love,
nice.
love, love. Yeah, I love Costa Rica. And I can't think of another one right now, but
So you
definitely
got
those
Costa
are like
Rica,
top three
Maldives, and Turkey.
for sure.
But you also mentioned earlier that if you are going to work on extension, that you would consider Germany, Dubai. So would those make the list as well as like some of the top places?
Of course, but I haven't been to Dubai yet. So I will be going
Oh,
to
okay.
Dubai at least 2 or 3 times this year. So I'll get a feel of it for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
We
going
we're
in.
supposed to go at
I'm
the
going.
end of the year too, I believe.
Yeah, so we're going at the end of the year, and then my mom, she wants to do Maldives, Dubai, and Egypt. So I'll be going at
Oh,
least
nice.
2 or 3 times this year.
That's actually gonna be really cool. So you make travel nursing sound so nice. You know, it sounds so nice. I actually thought about for a second during this episode, like, man, maybe I should be a travel nurse. Like, they get
Oh
like
my gosh.
50 sacks a month. They moving around. So, what's on the other side of it, Chrissy? What's on the what's on the other side? What are some things people need to plan for? Um, maybe the things that are not really talked about as much for nurses out of traveling and helping people all around the world.
For sure. So one thing is, and this is a mistake that I see a lot of new travel nurses make. So when it comes to travel nursing, let's think of a 4 week calendar, right? So let's just say you're going to start the first week on that Monday. You won't get paid on that same Friday of that week. Your first paycheck will be the following Friday. So a big mistake that a lot of new travel nurses make, and even, seasoned travel nurses is, the company will say, oh, we've had issues with paying you. We'll go ahead and pay you next week. At the end of the day, if you are working and you do not get paid, you're not necessarily making $4,000 a week or $5,000 a week. You're actually volunteering your services. So, be about your money and get your money. And, companies, I necessarily didn't experience it, but a lot of people experience it, and they don't want to necessarily miss out on opportunities, so to speak, because they're just like, I don't want to walk away from $4,000 a week or $5,000 a week, and it's just like technically you're not making that anyway. Like they're not paying you, they didn't pay you. So psychologically, I think that people they say, man, this is a lot of money, and they waver when it comes to their principles and their morals and integrity. But it's just like if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I see a lot of nurses making that mistake. Definitely prepare. So save money in advance. Have money saved up in a stash in advance in case anything like that happens. There's also times where, say, for example, a nurse is supposed to start on a Monday. The company or the hospital may push their start date back 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So you need to decide, okay, do I want to wait 3 weeks or do I want to find another opportunity? And I just think it's a lot of scare tactics in the industry, a lot of fear that's embedded in people in the industry. But as long as you do your research and you have, a mentor, I always tell people try to have a mentor, try to find a mentor because I helped my friend make $100,000 in 10 weeks. I haven't even made $100,000 in 10 weeks yet. Like the most I cleared in a month was 40K, but she was able to do it. And people are like, oh, did you charge her for that? No, I remember in nursing school when she was helping me with pathophysiology and she was staying up 3 o'clock in the morning, helping me try to make sure I passed my test and she didn't have to. So she was just really getting a return on her investment, even though she didn't even realize she was, investing in me. So I would definitely say get a mentor if you can and be organized, have all of your certifications, all of your licenses, have that organized and ready to go. So when that opportunity comes to you, you can just go ahead and move. You don't have to miss out on opportunity because you don't have your things in order. That's really
So
much it. You know what I mean? Like that's really it, to be honest.
So I know you, I think that's actually really great advice, especially locking in with the mentorship. So I know you got to go because you got this excursion coming up. So the last thing I wanted to ask you was, what's up with this book? Let's talk about this book. Let's talk about
What, my
the
ebook?
yeah, let's talk about the profitable travel nurse book real quick.
Yeah, no problem. So I have recruited all of my friends who are nurses. I recruited them all to becoming travel nurses because when I did it by myself. I did it scared. I did it alone. I was just like, I have been studying this for a couple years and now it's my time and I'm ready. And I knew that I had signed a contract for a lot of money, and I really wanted my friends to just jump on board, but they were scared. They were like, "Oh, I need a little bit more experience," or "Oh, like I don't know if I'm ready," or "Oh, I don't want to, leave my unit. There's a lot of COVID patients. I want to help take care of everyone." At the end of the day, I had to realize that just because I'm a nurse and because I was called to serve doesn't mean that I don't deserve to make a lot of money. So at the end of the day, I'm still a nurse. I'm still serving. I'm still healing people. And it's okay if I make $150 an hour or $200 an hour to do that. I don't have to necessarily put myself in a place of making $24 an hour just because I'm a nurse and that's our profession. If you think about it, other professions, lawyers, doctors, everyone, they're just like, no, like I demand to be making the most amount of money, but why don't nurses do the same thing? It's because of like, like a hero syndrome, or because they feel like it's their duty to serve. And it's okay to serve, but you can serve and still make a lot of money. So I wrote this book because I wanted to really simplify things for people. I think that, when it comes to travel nursing, it really may be a foreign idea or industry to people. So I just really wanted to make something simple, from A to Z. So a second grader, a third grader, maybe not, maybe like a fifth grader or a sixth grader can read it and actually say, okay, like I know exactly what to do to become a travel nurse. And that's how I just wanted to create it. So I started with my ebook. I created that, last year, and I've just been pushing that out. But now I'm about to push out a course. I created a course for travel nurses. So not only to teach them how to become travel nurses, but teach them how to be profitable. So right now I'm in a hotel in Las Vegas. Like I didn't pay for this. Um, I have like the highest status with Marriott, which is Ambassador Elite. So I really don't know when's the last time I paid for uh, a hotel. And
Yeah, yeah. We need
the
we need that ambassador elite status. What we doing?
Yo, for sure, because you got to think about it. So, for example, I use 100,000 points to stay at the St. Regis in Bal Harbor in a room, and I was upgraded to a $17,000 suite. So, when people they see my Instagram, they're just like, "Oh, like you getting money, you're doing this." But I believe in leverage. You leverage everything. So I leverage travel nursing. Some nurses they become travel nurses and they're just like, "Oh, I'm making a lot of money," but it's just like, how is your money making money for you? That's what I do. So I just went ahead and created that book because I wanted to, just give people a very easy, basic understanding of travel nursing from A to Z. But again, like, I created a course teaching travel nurses how to become profitable travel nurses, and also how to branch into entrepreneurship. So, like you were talking about, this guy that, who created this whole business of, helping people passing NCLEX. A lot of nurses don't know, they're some of the most skilled people in the world, smartest people in the world. They know everything about the organs, the body. You can create a business from anything. So I created that program, with my course so that, they have the tools necessary to branch into entrepreneurship with ease.
Sound like you serving people on the highest level. This book sound. I'm about to
You
buy the
have
book.
to
I'm about to buy
buy
the
the
book.
book,
Y'all
buy
should
the
buy the
book,
book
buy the
too.
book.
Make sure
Listen,
you guys.
I think you're doing a great job of what you're doing. I would hate for you to transition into travel nursing, but in the event that you had to, at least you can get a bag. You know what I'm saying? And use
Yeah,
that
yeah,
bag to
yeah,
flip
yeah.
into to do whatever you need to do.
I like that. Make sure you guys follow at Nurse Chrissy TV.
Yes, follow
Listen,
me,
she.
DM me, send me questions, whatever you guys have. It was such an honor to be on your platform. We've been trying to do this for many times. I've been out of
Yeah,
the country many
yeah,
times. So I'm happy, to be here on the West Coast, same time zone. It was perfect.
yeah. So now, next time we link it, we'll do it in person on the Pursue podcast. We'll lock in
For sure,
person. Talk about
for
the
sure.
story and everything you have going on. Make sure you guys follow. Like I said, at Nurse Chrissy TV, and also grab the book Profitable Travel Nurse.com, and lock in with Chrissy. She's about to hit country 30, right? You about to hit
Yeah, for
country
sure.
30?
I'm about to hit 30.
Crazy. So listen, I'm really considering not being a marketer no more and being a travel nurse like you got me thinking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might have to do it. I might have to lock in with you, figure this out. It's been another episode of an Imperfect Action Show with my amazing guest, Nurse Chrissy. Make sure, like I said, you guys
Thank you.
lock in with her. And we will see you guys later. Remember, there's 5 episodes scheduled this week, but there will be 3 pop-up bonus episodes because I had technical difficulties last week. So just stand by for that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Peace, y'all.